get excited, get excited. Oh, and welcome to Adulting One-on-One with your girl, Glam God, Charity Costin, and social personality. You know, I do a whole bunch of things, but this is just a conversation I felt like I needed to have with our young adult world. Okay. Now, as a parent to young adults, sometimes we try to take y'all in steps. We don't be knowing that, we be having to have these conversations like on fast forward with y'all nowadays. And 2021, Jesus. Okay, so listen, this is a conversation I had with my son. And this is a conversation I need to make sure that all of you all know, because even though I had this conversation with my son, it went all over his head. So take notes, be clear. Understand that there's a whole bunch of ways to get scammed. Okay, scammers be scamming, and sometimes them scammers is your friends, and you be like, I thought they was my friend. They not. Okay, sometimes people are just looking for an opportunity to come up, and they feel like their situation is a little more detrimental than yours at this current moment, right? So listen. So I'm gonna give you a couple of scenarios and some things that can happen. These are not all and the only ways that you can get scammed, but as a young adult, let's be clear, these are some of them, and there's some like telltale signs in this. There's some context clues here that we be missing out on, and so I just want you to stay close. All right. Stay close. So listen, right? So when my son got his bank card, he opened up his new bank account, right? We went to Wells Fargo. I said, don't you ever tell anybody that you got a bank card. Don't show nobody you got a bank card. It ain't nothing to brag on. You don't need to let them know that you got any type of checking account, period. Reason number one, we're not cashing no checks. No, I don't care that you don't have a bank account. No, I don't care that your bank account is negative at this time. No, I don't care that you need a clean bank account to put this check in and you're going to give me $100 or however much of this, the amount of this check, your work check, your bank check, the check that your grandmama gave you. Okay. We're not doing that. And I told him, I said, don't tell anybody you got a bank account. What did my son do? My son decided when he was on his way walking to work, some random stranger, flag on the play, random stranger rode by, asked you, hey, do you have a bank account? What random person asked you, do you have a bank account? Does that not scream red flag right there? Okay. Right. The intelligent son in which I thought I had, I'm like, okay, it's not, you're not making me feel comfortable with you in the world. So this is why I'm bringing this to you all. So at some point, this conversation leads to one, he got in a car with this complete stranger to go to the bank to cash this check in his account. Now, most people know that you can deposit checks right away in the mobile deposit using your ATM card, right? If you have a checking account, you can deposit checks and cash immediately, and it's almost ready immediately for you to withdraw. And this guy played upon that, okay? He expected that, and I don't know if he told my son he was going to give him $100 or what. He ended up giving him $300, had to wait for the other $100 clear, ended up being a $400 check, all the way completely fraudulent, right? Fraudulent to the fact that this is somebody's old checking account, some old checkbooks written out. And I mean, like, clue number one, the guy had a blank check. He initially told you it was his work check. And that he just needed someone to cash in. He needed to sign it over to you. And I guess he was going to give you $100 out of $400. I'm not sure. But the check wasn't even written out to him. It did not look like a printed work check. Hello, son. You receive checks. You know what a printed work check looks like. Okay. Context clues, y'all. He wrote it out in your name. So it was never written out to him. We clearly know that was not a work check. So now you've deposited this check into your account, of course, on a Friday. The man has gotten away with $300 of your money because this happens on a Friday. And so the bank sees this on Monday and they deduct $300 from your account. Not only do you not get the $400, okay, they do not honor that check because it is a closed account. Hello, somebody. And now you're short $300. Well, in his situation, it worked out well for him because he has a job. He was able to pay back that money and not be penalized for depositing a fraudulent check into his account and having his very first bank account closed. You guys, we've been through this a lot. Like, I mean, I've known a whole bunch of people in my decades of life that have experienced some form of bank check fraud, right? Where somebody was like, oh, you can make this much money. We just need you cash some checks, put deposits to your bank, give me this much and then you'll get to keep this much. We be thinking it's a come up. It ain't my money, right? This is what goes through your mind. It's not my money. I just came up on $200 just for depositing this $800 check. But once I done deposited and cash this $800 check, all I got was $200. They got $600, and then come Monday, I no longer have a checking account to get my checks direct deposited in. And I can no longer go open up a bank account with another bank because now they have me deemed as as a risk. I have now fraudulent activity on my checking history, on my bank history. And so other banking institutions are not going to allow for me to proceed to open a new bank account. This is the reason why. Don't tell people you have a bank account. Okay. I don't care if it's your best friend. They don't need to know that you have a bank account. All right. The only person who need to know is your employer if you're doing direct deposit and your parents. That's it. Friends don't need to know. This isn't necessary for them. Another reason why I say this. All right. Don't be too trusting. So another situation, and I'm just giving you these life situations because you're probably like, I'm just really not that dumb, but you can be, and you don't realize that you are. You may get that email from a foreign cousin across the waters that says you have inherited so much amount of money, or you have this amount of money to go to school with. Please send me your address so that way you can get this, get this lump sum of money, and then they send you a cashier's check because you think it's real. And then that cashier's check is fake. Now, I have no idea what they get from giving you a cashier's check in your account, because technically your account either going to get closed or the bank is going to realize, oh, this is straight fraudulent. We're not even cashing this. Okay. So I have no idea what those scammers get out of it. I don't know if they get access to your personal information through that, your social. I'm not sure. Right. What I'm here to tell you, though, is to be weary of it. Okay? To be weary of it. Don't trust the friends with the Western Union. I need you to cash this Western Union money order. Well, where you get it from? Well, why you can't do it? Well, you got everything else. You got Chime. You got Green Dot. You could probably take this to Western Union and cash this directly. Well, if you ain't got no ID, I'm just not going to do that. I can't help you there. Sometimes you just have to say no and be okay about it. All right. So I want you to be aware of things of that nature. Okay. These are how people get you. So I didn't know I needed to have this conversation with my little sister so early. Who got the same way? My little sister. Somebody gave her a check to deposit, and lo and behold, it clearly was fraudulent. What? Like, what? Like, are y'all still friends? Like, tell me about this. I'm not understanding. All right. So understand, people are, they will pay on your sympathy, on your weakness. And sometimes we think it's not a big deal, especially as young adults. We do not understand the detriments of how this affects us later as we go on through our adult life. And so this does impede your adulting successfully when you cannot have a decent bank account. Okay. So I'll be back with some more tidbits and information and advice and tips about adulting 101 here in 2021. Thanks so much for checking in. And if you did not like and subscribe, please make sure go do that. Like, subscribe, and then share, because you need to share this with your cousin, your nephew. If you're an adult watching this, you might need to share this with all of your kids, and then make sure they send it to their friends. All right, because we just want to make sure that you're well educated. Because now you may get this and you may be the scammer. Right? Stop scamming your friends. All right, let's find ways to make legitimate money. Okay. Thank you.